Hi, everyone. I'd have to put my glasses on. So here we are. And, last time and thank you for whoever gave me a thumbs up before I even began. That makes me feel happy. Hi, Deborah. Okay. So last time I said, well, we're going to stitch, and then we never stitched. And I was watching it and thinking, well, what happened? So we are absolutely stitching this time. I've gotten my needles prepared. I've picked out threads. I have to tell you, though, that the split stitch, I almost never use it. And, all right, someone's saying hi. Hi, Lynn. And so this is a little bit of a challenge, right? Which I love a challenge, but the truth is, I really almost never use it. And the one time I did use it, I disliked it so much that I actually covered it with a satin stitch. So we're going to hope for better results this time. Hi to Linda from Canada and Mary from Minnesota. Hi, Tiffany. Oh, I'm so happy to see everyone. And Bobby. Hi, Bobby. Oh, you guys. Just makes my day. So we're going to start with the split stitch. And then someone on Facebook, Karen, not that I'm naming names, said, what about the Petite Very Velvet? Well, of course, I can't. Hi, Deborah. I can't do the split stitch with the Petite Very Velvet or Very Petite Velvet, or, it always confuses me. Hi, Sharon from Maine and Mary from West Virginia. I just love that we have so many, such a diverse group. We're representing such a huge swath of the US and in Canada. So the Very Petite Velvet, or Petite, I think it's Very Petite Very Velvet. That's what it is. That one we can't use for the split stitch, but maybe we can use it for some other things around the split stitch. So that's what I'm going to start with. But first, I just want to say hi to all of you. And how is everyone? How are all of you? Is everyone okay? I'm always thinking about that West Coast horror over there with the cloud of smoke. We actually, on the roof, had, oh good, great. Excellent. Great is good. We actually went up on the roof and, oh, I'm so glad. Some people are really in good shape today. That's awesome. My husband and I go up on our roof, and Delinda, we're good. Couldn't put my glasses on quickly enough. I should just leave them on, but then I can't really see far distance. So the whole thing is just kind of, it's that, right? Here, I should just do this. The old lady glasses. So we were up on the roof last night, and it was very smoky looking. And my husband said, is it even possible that we could be getting smoke 3,000 miles away? And I think we are. I don't know, is that possible? It was very, very smoky looking. The sky was this very strange color. So, okay, I'm going to turn the camera, and we're going to get this split stitch going. And you guys can chat and tell me what you think. So this time I'm going to try really hard not to cut out on anyone, because last time I did this. Okay, getting the hand in the way isn't good either. Very hazy in Minnesota. Yeah, see, I think we're getting it too. All right, I'm turning the camera. Okay, you're getting the study. Okay, those of you who get car sick, hold on to your seat belts, fasten your seat belts. Okay, here we go. Getting this in position. All right, so I'm going to use my little crazy hand-dyed linen number here. I was showing you last time. Get a little more light on this. Hang on. And I'm going to show you the threads that I've got going. So I've got this one threaded. This is an Oriental linen. I've got this. This is from the Thread Gatherer. It's actually one of their most popular threads, which I thought was really interesting since I had never thought about it. And then since Cece said, well, it's our most popular thread, I thought, oh, well, I guess I better get some and see why. And it's more of a typical embroidery thread with plies, and you can separate. So I took 2 plies out. I think I'm working with 8 ply. There's 12 in in the skein, and I'm working with 8, which I think is like a 5 weight. I don't know. I'm not very versed on all that. And then this one, which is this. Isn't that a great color? The ribbon floss this is Painter's, right? Painter's thread. So I thought we could start with these, because here's the thing about the split stitch. If you try to do it with, say, your House of Embroidery, or with Sue Spargo's Eleganza, I don't know if you did it with a 3 weight, but isn't that a pretty red? Yeah, I think so. I love this red. It's like a Christmas red. But it's because it's wound this way, which I love, and I think all of you probably love too. It actually doesn't work so well with the split stitch because it's hard to get that needle in there. So I didn't love it when I tried doing it. And I'll show you actually this underneath here is a split stitch that I didn't care for. So I'm just going to pick a spot here, like here, or maybe I'll go up here. Okay, I'll go right in here. I'll sort of outline this variegated area. And first I'll do it with the embroidery floss, because I think the reason the split stitch is one of the stitches that we learn, when we're little kids, that and the stem stitch, right? I mean, those are like the two. And I think the reason is because we're using this embroidery floss. And so, it's working for that, but not so much for the other. So I'm left-handed, so I'm going this way. You're right-handed, you're going to start going this way, and you're going to work this way. I'm going to be working clockwise. You'll work counterclockwise if you're right-handed. So I'm not going to really care about this variegation. I'm just sort of using it as a general idea. So I'm going to go here. Also, a hoop, right? This is like perfect for a hoop. Because I want to... Hi, Dixie Doodles, whose name I don't know, but what a great handle. Okay, so I'm going to go right into the center of this, right? We know this. And there's my split. Well, kind of. And now I'm going to come forward. But I want to do this, and that's where it gets tricky. So then I tried to kind of lay it down, which made me think, okay, well, this really is for an embroidery hoop. It's really not to do this way. But then I found that if I did that, I could kind of get the split stitch. All right, so we're going to keep going a couple of times because I just want you to see the difference between this, which obviously the split stitch is ideal for. Of course, see, with me doing that, change your stitch over stitch you don't like. Right, exactly. You just cover it. Okay, so I'm going to hold that down because I don't want to go down and then up and then down and then up. I want to just do this, right? So I'm going to hold it with my finger. And that was one of the reasons why I didn't like the split stitch, because I didn't like that I had to poke and then, pull it through, come around. I want to be able to do this. Okay, so there's that. And other than this mess here, which we're just going to ignore and pretend we don't see. Okay, that's got possibilities, right? Hi, Patricia. Pat. How are you, Pat? Now I'm going to come in with my red. and I'm going to do something else. So I think this has potential. What do you think? Right? I mean, don't look at the mess. Just look at, but that's okay. All right. Thank you, Delinda. And so, all right, now I'm going to come here with the red. And I'm going to just kind of follow this darker green in the striation of the linen. So this is my red Marianne, what is this called? Ribbon floss, which I think it should work nicely for, right? And I'm going to keep doing this method where I'm sticking my finger down to hold it. So this works. We can do this for the split stitch. Oh, good. I'm glad you can see the angle and I mean the stitches. You know, it's when I start talking and suddenly my hand goes like this. Hi, Debbie, that becomes problematic. All right, so I'm just going to keep going a couple more with this one. Then we're going to try the Oriental linen and see what that looks like. And then I'm going to thread up something like maybe a silken pearl, just so you can see the difference, because I don't think a silken pearl is going to work very well with this, but I could be wrong. But I think that's kind of nice with a little sparkle in there. Now I'm going to just kind of like a railroad track, go right next to this one and kind of mimic it just for a couple. And then I'll shoot off into a different direction. And then we'll start playing with, well, now what do you do with it, right? Okay, so now I'm going to go off over here. Oh, Carrie, I'm glad you figured out how to chat. See, someone asked me and I said, I have no idea. Lettering. Yeah, so I didn't even think of that. But of course, this would be great for lettering. And you guys are so funny. Okay, so let's stop there. Now I'm going to bring in my Oriental linen. See, isn't this nice? This is like those cooking shows where they like bake a cake, you know, that usually takes 5 hours and like 20 minutes because they've done they've done all their prep work. They've got like 5 cakes and they've done, you know, different timetables. I'm not sure where I threaded this on a bouillon knot needle. Okay, well, we're going to pretend that this is a chenille. This is my Oriental linen. I don't know how this is going to look. I kind of thought it might look okay because it does have strands. It is applied. I mean, it's not really, because you would never divide this. But there are noticeable strands, like the soft cotton, the same. You could so do the split stitch with, I think, the soft cotton. And if you don't care, and I don't, by the way, whether it looks a little mangled at times, I think this could be fine. I mean, we do something in here, you know, and we don't worry about that. All right, so there's that. All right, so that's okay. I'm going to be honest. I don't think that's as successful in showing off the split stitch. I do think that it comes out nicely with this as well as this one. All right, I've got a needle here. Again, it's a Milner's. We're just going to pretend it's a chenille. Exactly. Exactly. So here's my silken pearl. And oh, thank you. I like the colors too. And I'm just gonna throw this in here, even though I'm not sure about this color, just to see what this looks like for the split stitch. And you know what I might do? Because I couldn't do this in advance, so I really couldn't, oh, well, this is working. I really couldn't, you know, have it and then show you. I had to just start afresh and to demonstrate. And so I couldn't have this all done and then show you, oh, and then, you know, look, this is what I've done 5 hours later with all these other stitches. So I'll just work on this a little bit this afternoon afterwards, and I'll post it on the, let's see, how will I do that? I don't know. I can always put it in the Facebook group. All right, so it's not really showing it. I mean, I don't know. Could you tell that was a split stitch? I can't. It's, so I would say for the work that the split stitch requires, these are the two that I would go with, and I really wouldn't even try to do these. In fact, I like that purple against this color, though, so I may keep that. This, I'm just going to chop out. I'm just not even going to bother with it. The other one that I thought we could try, mostly because I just have it on a needle, is, okay, I'm not being too anal right here, taking this out. Oh my God, you're seeing all my neuroses. So I thought, well, I have this on a 4mm silk ribbon. So let's see what that is like. I mean, it's not going to really be a split stitch per se, because it's really just going to be a ribbon that's, but I don't know, maybe it'll be interesting. Let's see. I'm all for trying things and seeing what they look like. And if you kind of straighten it out a little as you go with your thumb, then, well, that could be kind of interesting. I can see some possibilities here with this. I don't know. I'd have to do more of it for this. So I think what I'll do now, the ribbon, Bobby, is that what you're saying you like? Yeah, it's kind of cool, right? I think what I'm going to do, you can't really tell what it even is, which I sort of like that. I like that you're sort of looking at it going, what is that? Yeah, okay. People are liking the ribbon. So I'm already thinking, well, now what could I do? Oh, good. So I think we're getting a whole group here saying that you like the ribbon. The soft cotton, that's another one you could definitely work with. So I'm going smaller. Sorry. I'm going small. I went large, and then I sort of am going really much smaller here. And just to see what it was going to look like closer together. Am I off camera? Oh, you have. I've never, see, I'm not a big split stitch person. I mean, I've really not used it much, so, or really ever, truthfully. So I like the idea of the ribbon. Okay. Of course, people who do a lot of ribbon work, I'm sure this is like ho-hum to you. To me, it's all sort of new and exciting. All right, here we go. I'm just going to finish off this bit of ribbon here. And then I thought we could kind of look at, well, now what? What can we do with what we've got here? And even though it's not a lot, it's a little something. So I'm going to end this now here. For those of you who, that whole end of the thread thing and you don't want to waste any of it, you're probably all sort of laughing, because that's what that's about. Okay, so I was thinking, well, I could thread this. Totally can see that. I could thread it with some other color. I've got my soft cotton here. That could be kind of cool. It's a similar color, but a totally different texture. So why don't I do that? And we can decide what we think. On the top side, Deborah, I don't know what you mean on the top side. You mean on the top of the ribbon kind of thing? All right, I'm going to put there's my little knot. just leave that. And now I'm going to take here's my 18, is that an 18 chenille? Yes. And I will take I'm taking a bunch of soft cotton here. And I'm going to do my quilter's knot. And let's see what it looks like to thread it. So we're going to go in here and in here. And I'm going to be careful not to pull it too tightly because I want to see it. And I can see how easily it will disappear. Now I could also see doing little French knots in between the splits. You are sewing all on the top side of FA. Fabric. Yes. Okay. So here we go. So this is interesting. And now what I might do is I could come in, I can double thread it. I could go back around the other side if I felt like it. I can, let's see, what could I do? I could do anything. I could do a woven picot. I could do little seed stitches. I don't know that I want to double thread it. I think I'm going to leave it. And now maybe I'm going to do a couple of French knots, even though I've got my chenille here. I'm not going to pay attention to that. And maybe I just do a couple of random loose French, sort of, you know how when you don't tighten that knot, those wraps around it just kind of gets a little wild looking. So we'll go with the sort of wild looking bit. All right, I'm just going to do a couple more, and then I'm going to bring in my Petite Very Velvet to see what we can do with that. The other thing I was thinking was I've pretty much gone, hi Leah, I've pretty much gone through a split back stitch. Okay, I'll show how to do the split back stitch. I actually meant to do that, and then I sort of forgot. So let me show how to do that. Do all of you know how to do a split back stitch, by the way? The difference between what I showed and doing it as a split back? No. Okay, let me show you. You know what? I'm going to show you with this thread. I'm going to do one more. All right, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do one more French knot here. And then I'm going to come right out here and I'm going to start doing, can I do that? I have to do, let's see. Yes, I can. All right, I'm going to, so for the split back stitch, I'm going to come forward. I'm going to go into the next. I always do I never use a hoop. I used to when I was a kid. The split back is, and now I'm going to go back. I'm going to come forward. So it's just like a back stitch, but you're splitting that thread. I'm going to keep it small just so you can sort of see. It can be a little bit more dramatic. It's the only way you've done it. It's interesting. I only knew how to do the first one that I showed. And then as I was, what have I done here? Okay, there. And then as I was looking at examples of the split stitch, I saw someone do the split back stitch, which honestly, since I don't like using a hoop, I think it's faster. As someone pointed out, it does use more thread, but it feels more natural to me to do it this way. I also sort of feel like I have more control over it. Especially, I think if you were doing lettering, I think it would be, yeah. I wonder, Cheryl was saying lettering. I'm guessing that's how you do it, Cheryl, is you do the split back stitch as opposed to the other way. I feel like I can do turns and yeah, I like this. Okay, so she's saying yes, it looks more precise. Yep, I agree. It's so I'm sort of meandering here, but it's looking a lot neater. Yeah, it's more uniform. Okay, well, thank you. I can't remember who asked me to do that or said that they did it. I like the first way a little better. Okay. Well, that's the great thing. You can do whichever one you want. Now this one, I would have a hard time double threading or even single threading, because it's much closer together. You could get something small in here. I'm also doing these really close together. I could do them much farther apart. Okay, I'm going to pull out that Petite Very Velvet. I'm going to end this here. Yeah, that's quite a difference, isn't it? It's also the soft cotton is really easy to do the split stitch with. But I do think it looks better than it's, it depends. I mean, if I was doing grass or something, I would go with this because it has that more, I don't know, this is really great for something very precise. I think it would be beautiful for lettering. I mean, that's just perfect. Or if you had a very definitive line that you wanted to create, this would definitely be the one to go with. I think this has a more organic look to it. And so they're both kind of interesting. Okay, let's see. I've got so here's what I brought out. I'm going to show you. I know, look at this, a rainbow. And then I have this. Have any of you, no, not this one. This one, Super Suede. Have any of you worked with this? It's kind of cool. It is a flatter. I'm just going to pull it out. So look at this. So do you see how flat it is compared to this, which is round? So it's more like, I mean, it's really just like, it's really just like the Petite Very Velvet, but it doesn't have any pull to it. You know how this feels almost like it's got like, I don't know, sometimes it feels like it's got like a little elastic, there's a little pull to it. Anyway, this is more like a cord, this is flatter. All right, so what am I going to do here? I'm going to pick a color, pick any color. See, I can get caught up in just trying to find a color. Okay, let's get a group consensus here. What do you guys think? Color. Are we going with these? Maybe I do this one. Okay. Doing this one. And I have no idea what I'm doing with this, just so you know. I'm going to thread it on a chenille, but I'm not going to, I'm going to thread it on a Milner's just so I have the option. So this is I think this is a 1. I don't know. It's either a 1 or a 3. Bullion looks interesting in it. Okay, that's it. I'm doing a bullion knot. All right, so I've got my little thread here. And I'm going to come in, I think I'm going to come in right here, right on the outer edge here. And I'll do a little bouillon and turkey work. Yep. I was thinking turkey first, and then I don't know. I'm going to do a little bouillon and French knots. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do 9 wraps. And I need my pliers. And I think I want to do, I'll do another one coming out here. These little tendrils, make it a little longer this time. That's 14, that's plenty. Let me grab my pliers. And there. Then we'll do one more here, going off this way. So just so you know, I'm not thinking about anything other than colors right now. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I'm thinking about color. I'm thinking about, that I want a little, I like that whoever suggested the bouillon knot, all the suggestions, bouillon knot, turkey work, French knots, they all are going to give a little dimension to it, which I like. So maybe I do a 3 wrap French knot in here, and maybe I do a French knot here, sort of like a little exclamation point on these guys. I didn't dye the linen. I got this linen from Fiber on a whim. They have really beautiful hand dyed. This is a linen cotton blend, but they've got burlap and all kinds of stuff. And then talk about going down a rabbit hole. They have their own pearl cottons threads, which it really is like an addiction. You know you don't need to get any more. And then you see it and you think, oh, but wouldn't this be pretty? I don't know the count. I know they do sell linen that is specifically for cross stitchers. But I don't know the count. I don't know that they even say what the count is, because I don't know, you could go to their site. Yeah, right? I mean, you just feel like I don't need this. I've probably got, go to Fiber on a whim and just check it out. They've got lots of beautiful stuff. Okay, so I've got my little French knot, I've got like my little bouillon. I don't have any turkey work, but I'll throw that in there. So I think the thing about the petite very velvet is you can do just about anything with it, but it really isn't going to work. But I think the one stitch you absolutely cannot do with it is the split stitch, because it's really a cord. In my cart right now, that was quick. So you're multitasking, Dixie Doodles. You're watching this and going over to Fiber on a whim and shopping as you stitch. Oh my gosh. Does it get any better than that? No, I don't think so. All right, so what I was thinking was I could end this here, and then so I'm going to end it here, and then I could do a little turkey work right here. I know you were saying turkey work with the very petite, but I'm just going to do it here. I do love this plied stitch, plied thread for things like turkey work. And because it just kind of does it's really nice when you cut these little loops. So as you can see, I am just randomly making stitches, anchoring, making a stitch. I'm not really thinking about, is it in a line? I'm not thinking about any of that. I'm just making sure I anchor it. I've got a stitch. I've got a loop. I'm anchoring. And that's going to be it. And I'm going to now cut this so you can just see how cool this is. This thread, by the way, is called Silken Colors Thread Gatherer. I know she's completely inundated with orders, but mostly from my orders. But yeah, Silken Colors. I love this. So here we go. And look, it just separates all by itself without you really doing anything. But isn't that cool, just for like a little bit of grass kind of sticking up? And now I could do, a whole bunch of little French knots in here. But then we're just going off. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I may keep going with it, do a little something meandering this way. Flower centers, yes, exactly. And I'll do some stitching after I stop this, and then I'll post the photo of it in the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, join. It's a Stitching Circle. So thanks, everyone, for stopping by and watching the split stitch. I learned something. I thought it was really cool how this worked versus these, and even the ribbon. I don't know. That's, I'm liking that. Okay, so one thing I wanted to say was, because I've done a video of just about every stitch that I know of, I'm thinking now of doing, and all of you should tell me what you think of this idea, if you have other ideas. I'm thinking now of doing videos specific to a thread. So doing a whole video just on Petite Fairy Velvet. And, thank you, Bobby. It's good to see you. Maybe devoting a whole video just on a thread, GIMP, soft cotton, things like that. That was my thought. You can tell me in the comments. I'm going to go now and continue stitching. Have a great day, everyone, and thanks for stopping by.